Hey everybody, Broadway.com, live at 5. It is April 6th. I'm Andy Lefkowitz, and you are?
I am Beth Stevens.
You sure
Welcome,
are.
everybody. We have a fabulous guest for you.
We do. We have Richard Topol here from Paula Vogel's play Indecent on Broadway. And yeah, we're really excited to chat with him.
You've seen him in a billion different shows
Totally
if you go to
have.
the theater in New York City.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
But before we bring
have
Richard
some
up,
news.
yeah,
First
we have
of all,
some great news.
we have an opening night.
We sure do.
We have an epic opening night for War Paint, of course, starring two-time Tony winners, both of them, Christine Ebersol and Patti LuPone,
Nice.
as well as Douglas Sills and John Dossett, and a wonderful ensemble of actors and singers and dancers. So good luck.
It's pretty exciting.
Break a leg, War
Nederlander
Paint.
Theater.
It's just a gorgeous little show.
Yeah.
So that's happening. We have some breaking news.
You sure do.
So the Tony Administration Committee has met for their eligibility rulings. Most of them were what you would expect from the playbill, from the opening night credits.
Feeling, yeah.
But Gideon Glick, of Significant Other, will be indeed a lead actor in a play. This is not shocking, but we're happy to hear that they made that decision.
We sure are.
Also, Andrew Lloyd Webber and his partner will be eligible for orchestrations for Sunset Boulevard. Don't get excited. Glenn Close already has a Tony for Sunset Boulevard. Just everybody take a deep breath. It's going to be okay. Also, they ruled on the price. Mark Ruffalo is the lead actor in that, and then Tony Shalhoub, Jessica Hecht, and Danny DeVito are going to be in the featured categories for that. So that's the breaking news. So do you feel like timeline, like we need like a little
care of it.
So Present Laughter opened last night.
Yeah,
We have a really funny red carpet challenge where Matt Roden made everyone laugh for a laugh track. It's something. It's something. You gotta watch that. Okay, so we have some casting for Prince of Broadway.
Yes.
This has been circling for a while. And they finally announced the Broadway cast. Of course, it was in Japan with a different cast, although some of those players are returning for this engagement that's coming in August. And so we will see Nancy Opel, Emily Skinner, and Tony Yazbek, who did it before, right?
Yep.
As well as Kayleigh Voorhees,
Who did it before
who also
as well.
did it before.
Yep.
And then Tony winner Chuck Cooper, my boyfriend Brandon Uranowitz. Hi, Brandon.
Aw,
I
hey,
know you're
Brandon.
watching.
Hey.
Janet Takal, I'm going to say her name wrong, Briona Marie Parham. Did I say that correctly? If I didn't, you can just write in and chastise me. I like it. That starts previews on August 3rd, with opening on August 24th at the Samuel J. Friedman Theater. That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Harold Prince. All those great musicals.
Oh, Hal. That's what they should call it. Oh, Hal. Like
Hal.
Subtitle. So, this is interesting.
Yeah.
We've got some political theater coming up.
We sure do.
So, Tony winner, Robert Schenken, who wrote All the Way, which everyone remembers because Bryan Cranston starred in it, and that was a little bit political with the LBJ, but more historical, has written a new play called Building the Wall.
Wow.
Let's just say it's about POTUS.
Yeah.
That is going to play New World. I'm sorry, guys. It's been a day. That's gonna play New World Stages, and the show is set in 2019. Is that true?
It is. Yeah, 2019.
Futuristic.
Yeah.
In the not too distant future. So that's something to watch.
Who's starring in it?
Tamara Tooney and James Badge Dale will star, and its previews on May 12th and opens on May 21st.
Nice.
So
at
we're
New World
gonna
Stages.
at New World Stages,
Yeah.
and if it runs for a really long time, then it will become a historical piece. You know how that works? Okay. Cheetah Rivera is coming back to the Cafe Carlisle.
Yes, Cheetah.
Everyone loves Cheetah. She'll be back May 9th through the 20th, so you've got a good long time to have a nice drink and see Cheetah Rivera. We have a new episode of American Dream. That's Eva Noblezada's vlog, Miss Saigon starring Eva Noblezada. She is so much fun.
She's a blast.
She doesn't care. She just takes us wherever she wants to take us. She shows us around her
considering
apartment.
what happens on stage every single night
She
with
is a
that
goofball.
character, oh my goodness.
She goes around scaring people in her life. Please don't bring this into our office, okay? Cause
I promise.
She scares. She hides under. Just watch it.
It's fun.
Okay, so we have the National Theatre in London's new season, and Oslo, which is on Broadway right now, is going to play the National, and then it's going to go to the West End. So that's pretty exciting. And we have some new actors added to Roman Holiday.
Yes.
That's pre-Broadway. The pre-Broadway Cole Porter musical. That's going to be in San Francisco at the Golden Gate. And it will feature Georgia Engel.
We
Everyone
love
loves
Georgia
her.
Engel.
And Michael Mulheron.
Yes, we love him too.
MCC Theater has 4 world premieres. I'm just going to tell you the names of the playwrights. Are you ready? Are you all watching? Is anyone there? Are you listening?
guys.
Okay, good. Philip Dawkins, Jocelyn Bio, J.C. Lee, Lucy Thurber, and Neil LaBute wrote a play called Reasons to Be Pretty Happy. Now, if that sounds familiar, which it should, it's because he wrote Reasons to Be Happy and Reasons to Be Pretty. This is Pretty Happy. Who knows what the follow-up will be? What's going to happen?
Happy Pretty?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm excited.
Oh, that Neil LaBute. What a card. Three amazing divas, Judy Kuhn, Maren Maisie, I can't talk, Maren Maisie and Rebecca Luker are joining the New York Pops tribute to Kelly O'Hara. So if you have a pretty voice, you can be a part of this apparently. It's to Kelly O'Hara and Bart Sher, excuse me, at Carnegie Hall. Do you want to say something? I'm just barreling through. There's so much.
It's also going to feature Danny Burstein, Brian Darcy James, Adam Cantor, and this is on May 1st at Carnegie Hall
at 7
p.m.
So book that now.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
What an amazing group of people.
All those voices.
Wow. Will and Grace, we knew that they were going to have a return with 10 episodes. They're adding 2 more. All 4 of those people have been on Broadway. Or as we like to call it, the Broadway. And we have on the site Kathy Fitzgerald, who is a hoot and a holler, doing her roll call. She's now in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, though even though she's done a lot of roles, you probably know her as Madame Memorable in The Wicked. I'm going to give you a little sneak peek, you guys. We have a new vlog that we're announcing tomorrow. You want to guess who it is? It's someone you like. It's a return vlogger. That's all I'm saying because Richard Topol is here. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only, you can introduce him. I'm going to leave. Bye, guys.
Richard Topol, guys.
Oh, I love the clapping.
Hey, look at that.
Yes.
Hey, Richard.
Hey, how you doing?
How's it going?
It's going great.
So, as you guys know, Richard is appearing in Paula Vogel's new play, Indecent, on Broadway, which played the Vineyard Theater last year. And you guys are in previews right now,
We
correct?
have a preview in a couple hours. Yeah, I just came
goodness.
straight from rehearsal.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So how are things going?
Great. We've done 2 previews, and they've been excellent.
Nice.
It's really thrilling. I mean, we've done this play now. The company has been, but even before the Vineyard, we did it at Yale and then at La Jolla, and so this is the 4th iteration, and it's feels like we've been, like we're now a family, and so it's really exciting to finally land where the play should be, which is on the Broadway.
And you're at the gorgeous Court Theater.
We are at the beautiful old Court Theater, and it's a beautiful space for this beautiful old play. The play is about the journey of a play. And it's a play that was performed on Broadway called The God of Vengeance almost 100 years ago. So it's maybe about the time that theater was built or so.
Tell me a little bit about God of Vengeance and the genesis of that piece.
Right. So our play, Indecent, written by Paula Vogel, is a play about the journey of a real play called The God of Vengeance. And so our play starts with the first reading of the play The God of Vengeance, and it goes through it becoming produced in Berlin and then produced all over Europe and becoming a big smash and then being brought to America and performed on Broadway. The play The God of Vengeance was written by Sholem Asch, and he's one of the characters in the play, in our play. And it is a play about a Jewish brothel owner whose daughter is a virgin, and he's got the brothel downstairs in his home, and upstairs he has his virgin daughter who's trying to keep pure. And he buys a Torah scroll, has a Torah scroll made for him by the rabbi to keep his daughter pure. And while he's trying to marry off his daughter to the rabbi's son, the daughter actually falls in love with one of the prostitutes in the brothel.
Wow.
And so 100 and something years ago, there's this man, Sholem Asch, who wrote this play about love between 2 women, among other things. That's one of the themes in the play. And so when The God of Vengeance was performed on Broadway in 1923, it was the first time there was a lesbian love scene on Broadway.
Right.
And so the amazing thing, and I think why Paula wrote this play, is one of the amazing things that happened was that the show was closed down on opening night, and the actors were arrested for obscenity, and they were put in jail for acting in this play, The God of Vengeance, because it was inflammatory, because it was, it had this lesbian love scene, and also it was it spoke to issues of hypocrisy in religion. And in fact, one of the people who took part in trying to get the show shut down was the rabbi of a nearby synagogue.
No way.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, I mean, it sounds intense,
Right.
but the play that we're doing that tells that history is beautiful, and it's really
Right.
thrilling. I mean, we have a live 3-person klezmer band. We have, there's songs, there's dances. The design elements are just astounding, and so it's an exciting and thrilling theatricalized retelling of the history of this play.
Right. Now, Richard, why do you think this play is particularly relevant to audiences today and in our climate right now?
Wow, it's a lot of the themes in the play that Paula has written are about the anti-Semitism that was happening at the time, about the immigration quotas and the talk of sending people back, not being welcome here. The questions of, you know, do people assimilate or do they stay within their heritage? And so certainly those are some of the, you know, about artistic, you know, like, do you say what you want to say, or do you feel like you can't say it because you live in a climate where you're not allowed to express yourself? So sort of freedom of expression. You know,
Right.
those are the themes of the play that I think are very right now.
Right. Now, this piece was co-created by Paula and by your director, Rebecca Teichman.
Teichman.
My apologies.
That's all right.
Teichman.
Well, I call her Teichman.
Okay,
But it's
okay.
It's Teichman.
Right. Can you,
Yeah.
given the fact that you were such an early part of the development of this work, can you tell me about your collaboration with them and your collaboration with your ensemble in bringing this piece to life?
Yeah. Actually, Rebecca, when she was at Yale, when she was a directing student at Yale, almost 18 years ago, created a piece that was about the obscenity trial for the God of Vengeance. So she has been obsessed with this work of art for, you know, a long time. And she couldn't let go of it, and she sort of wanted to keep working on it, and she sort of found Paula. And Paula had read the play when she was in college. She had read The God of Vengeance when she was in college and thought, oh my God, this is an incredible play. How could this man have written a play that speaks to our time and speaks to the beauty of, for her, you know, lesbian love? How could he have done that? So she was jumped on board, and they had a few passes at, they were at the MacDowell Colony and other places where they had writing workshops, and then they
Right.
brought in actors at Sundance, and they had a couple other workshops before we all jumped on board.
Okay.
And then we spent, this is now our 4th rehearsal process with rewrites and trying to figure out what's, I mean, Paula is, it's like to me, I talk about it like a Rubik's Cube. She
Right.
had 7 different scenes that could go here or here, and she would twist it around and put that scene in and throw this character out, and all of a sudden Eugene O'Neill is in the play because he knew, you know, he was one of the people who was going to testify on behalf of Sholem. And then all of a sudden you have this scene out of the play, and so part of our process was what stays in, what helps tell the story, where do we put this song, oh, maybe we should have a different song, maybe we have a, you know, and she just was like this veritable encyclopedic knowledge of the history.
Mm-hmm.
And Rebecca was the one who would say, okay, this, she's the visionary who can see, okay, this, we need to have this kind of thing here, and then something fast here, and then this quiet scene here, and you know, so we were participants in that, and witnesses to that, and helpers, you know, to say, well, it feels like the story drops out here, or oh, I see why I need to do this now.
Right. I've heard from so many artists that it's so healthy to be able to have those prior productions to work and see how audiences respond and figure out what works before you come to kind of the ultimate production that you're pleased with. So it must feel good to have been a part of that process and have something that you feel is complete.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, we had 4 different spaces and 4 different groups of people. So the people of Connecticut and and the theater at Yale, totally different from the people in La Jolla and that
Right.
space. Those spaces more like the space we're in now, but then
Mhm.
when we played at the Vineyard, it brought a kind of intimacy to the piece that was crucial, and for those of you who go see it, you'll understand why, to some of the aspects of the play, and now to have gone from this beautiful little sort of attic space, which is
Right.
one of the scenes in the play takes place in this attic, to this grand Broadway house. I feel like we've discovered everything we can about it that needs to have been discovered before we're doing it here.
Right.
For
We have a
people.
question here from Chelsea Hazelhurst.
Hey,
she's-
Chelsea.
Hey, she's asking, what's the best advice you've been given?
Best advice about acting, I would say probably the best advice I've been given is to always be curious, to see every show, see everybody's work, to when you're working on something, ask every question you can of yourself, of the material, to watch other people, see how they work, try to uncover everything you can, every secret that's inside you, that's inside what other people do. Go to museums, go to art shows, go to opera, see every kind of performance, follow somebody's career who you think is amazing, and see how they change or transform or find different things. That's the thing that, I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of great actors,
Right.
And to me, to be opposite Al Pacino and Denzel Washington and Mark Ruffalo on Broadway stages and see how they work and learn from them has been
Invaluable, I bet.
invaluable. Yeah.
Right. You've had such a rich career on Broadway and in Hollywood. Why is this play particularly meaningful for you?
When I had the chance to do this play, there was a chance to do a different show that was going to Broadway, and at the time we didn't know if Paula's play was going to, where it would end up. And I just fell in love with this guy, this character that I get to play, Lemmel, who's the stage manager of our journey. He's a little bit like, it's a little bit like the stage manager in our town, but I just fell in love with him, and I felt like I wanted to tell his story, and that his story echoed my family history, and my grandparents all came over from Poland and from Russia, and so it was something that was deeply meaningful to me, and that I thought would be, I wanted to spend my time in his shoes.
Right. Lisa Powelski is asking, curious whether any of your TV work has given you as much satisfaction as your stage work.
I would say not until the thing that I've just done, which is I've just spent the last 3 or 4 months in Prague with Jeffrey Rush and Ron Howard doing Genius Einstein, which is about to premiere on the National Geographic Channel,
Wow.
April 25th. And that was thrilling, partly to get to work with those guys, and partly because the character that I got to play, who spans, it's a 10-episode limited series, and his story was also really compelling and really different from the one in this play. And to date, I had not gotten the opportunity to live through somebody's story that deeply, and so that was as satisfying. And I will say, the couple weeks that I got to spend on the set with Daniel Day-Lewis and Steven Spielberg making Lincoln was
phenomenal.
Was phenomenal.
So Richard, lastly, who's the audience for Indecent? Why would you recommend the play to a Broadway audience?
Because it is a love letter to the theater. I mean, anybody who loves the theater, who loves going to the theater, will love this show. It is beautiful, it is thrilling, it is exciting to watch, and it's a great story. So, I mean, we're sort of like this crazy hybrid. We're a play, like Oslo, like Sweat, but we're also a musical. I mean, there's songs and there's dances, and so it's, I think it's something that people don't actually get to see very often on Broadway. So,
Well, guys, check out Richard Topol and Indecent, Paula Vogel's new play at the Court Theater. When do you guys open?
we open on the 18th of April.
Open April 18th, and they're in previews right now. Go check out this phenomenal new play, and thanks so much for being here
It's
today,
a great
Richard.
pleasure.
You bet.
Thanks for having me.